All right. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Zane Daniel. I'm a Hathor energy healer, and I'm also the director and the founder of the Higher Self Expo. And today I am joined by Jeilene Tracey. Hi,
Hello.
Jeilene.
Hi. Great.
And we're going to be talking about the expo and her. So I'm excited about that. Let me first jump in and just explain. The Higher Self Expo is an online metaphysical conference that really got started because of the COVID-19 lockdown, because I travel around the country generally speaking at expos and conferences and festivals. And I discovered, of course, that they were all closed down. So I realized, okay, I got to do something about that. What the heck am I going to do? Well, I guess I got to create my own. So that's what I decided to do. And we put together our very first one in May of this year. And we had 14 speakers over a 10-hour period, and it went swimmingly. Lots and lots of high vibrational activations. It was fantastic. So this time, we're doing it a little bit differently. We're doing 2 days. We've got 22 speaking slots, a couple of tandem speakers. So I don't say 22 speakers. I think it's 24, actually. And, amazing high vibrational beings again. And this time, we're also introducing the concept of really our theme. The first one, we didn't really have a theme, and this one we do, and it's envisioning our 5D society. And so not only are the light workers like Jeilene going to be helping us move into that fifth dimensional society, but we've also got people that are working hard, hands-on, actually, in creating a better society. And I would say they're kind of helping us move from 3D to 4D at a society level. So I'm really excited about bringing in some different people that actually don't consider themselves light workers, but don't tell them they actually are. So it's wonderful to have everyone. And Jeilene and I have been friends for a long time, so I'm very excited to introduce you, Jeilene, to our audience. Please go ahead and introduce yourself if you would.
Okay. Thank you so much, Zane. I'm really excited to be part of your Higher Self Expo, by the way, because like you said, we've known each other for a while. It's just really great to see that you're pulling all these people together who a lot of people haven't been exposed to before or haven't had a chance to be in front of a big group. And so I think that's super excellent because there's so many great healers out there. So a little bit about me, I call myself a vibrational geneticist, and I call myself that because I have always loved science. I studied science from the time that I was a kid, been pretty much obsessed with DNA my whole life. I spent a lot of time in nature as a kid and then parlayed that into a biological degree in molecular biology specifically. Spent a lot of time working in the biotech industry. And then I started to move into energy healing because I, happened chance to have a reading with somebody that told me that this is something that I should look into, which I, of course, at the time as a scientist, I thought like, you know, not so much. Are you kidding? Anyway, so as it turns out, though, of course, she was right. And I started taking different classes and starting out slow, like Reiki. I call Reiki the gateway drug, right? Because that's how so many people get started. Once you start connecting to that energy stream, right?
Yeah.
And you start to feel it in your body, and you're like, wow, this is really something to this. So, of course, like many of us who go on this journey, I did a lot of energetic soul healing myself and internal healing and past life work for myself through all the different healers I met and on my journey. But I really loved shamanism work that I did and work that I did with something called theta healing, which is also very good at shifting and moving stuck beliefs and things like that. And then I started to study something called body talk. And it was when I was studying body talk that I really started to open up into this relationship I now have, this really strong relationship I have with the Mantis. And so the Mantis and also the Arcturians are probably the two main groups that I work with. They're both feel like family to me. So I know that I've had past lives connected to them and being as part of their group, and the vibration that they hold is a vibration I feel in my body. And working with the Mantis, they taught me to start using toning to start shifting DNA and vibrational frequencies through people. They taught me the guide I work with, the Mantis guide, I call her Mari. And she really taught me that sound is a very gentle but efficient and effective way to shift DNA elements. And being that I had this background in molecular biology, I was already using a lot of epigenetic fundamental ideas and methods in my work, especially when I'd studied body talk, that I was trained by an epigeneticist. And so she was, sprechen my Deutsch. So we were, I was loving it. But then once I started to connect with Mari, she said, okay, hold on. You're not doing it quite right. Let me show you actually how to do it. And so I was really blown away by that, but it was so much fun for me. It was like I had a mentor. I finally had the mentor I'd always wanted. And she's just taught me so much about working with people. She has such a compassionate, loving presence. She feels like, I often tell people, she feels like Kuan Yin or like Mary Magdalene. She has that kind of vibrational frequency to her. And she heals through the vibration of compassion and through the vibration of love. And so we do lots of work in the heart, lots of past life clearing and all that stuff. So that's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. Okay. So some people, they're going to know the Pleiadians. They're going to probably know the Arcturians.
Yeah.
But then they're going to go, the what? The Mantis. What is that? Why don't you give some people an introduction to that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because actually the little bit of information that is out about the Mantis, besides a few people that maybe Simon Parkes or Steve Nobel talks about them in a different way, but a lot of people talk about them as being part of the abduction program on this
planet.
Right?
I haven't heard that, but that's interesting.
That's not at all what I connect to. So I'm connected to the Mantis that are in and around the Earth's vibrational dimensional fields. So they are here in caretaking of the Earth, and they're part of her frequency, and they really are here to help her evolve and to continue her evolution. I think one of the reasons why they came forward with me when they did, even though they'd been around me my whole life, but I hadn't really tuned in, not only was it because I stepped into service, but I think it's also because of what's happening on the planet right now and this incredible shift that we're going through. And they wanted to prime all of the people that they work with. So now, since I've been working with them, I've met all these different people around the world who work with them. Germany seems to be a hot spot for Mantis activity in southern Germany around Munich, which is really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
There's little hot spots around the world where they pop up. They seem to pop up quite a bit in Europe. But so I've, people who, like you said, they're not light workers, and they had no idea that this relationship they had with these beings would be validated. But then when they heard my story, they came forward and they said, oh my God, I've been working with these beings. They come into my bedroom at night and they heal me. So they're amazing healers. They work with the genetics, and they work with the compassionate vibrational field through the heart. And they're just incredible, loving. When I first met them, they're big. They're, like 8 or 9 feet, and they scared me. Like, I don't want to see you at night. But I'm not anymore. Now I feel totally safe with them. But at first I thought, are you going to snip my head off? Because
oh my gosh, yeah.
I've seen the videos on the Nature Channel.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You've had the babies. We're going to eat you now. It's fine.
Exactly.
Right.
They don't look exactly like that, though. They're like, they're mantis like, but they have that triangular head, and I often see them wearing like a cape. It's like this. They're very large, very tall, but anyway.
That's awesome. Yeah. I remember one of my first, or well, probably wasn't my first, but one of my early situations where I did automatic writing to try to connect with my guides a little bit more. I asked, and you might remember this, I asked who the Mantis were. And then I just started typing, and then I sent it to you, and I said, is this really who the Mantis are? And you're like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I forgot.
Remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
that's how they are. They're just showing up around. They're doing it a lot now because they're really like, don't get this wrong, you guys, because
right.
You know who's going to go. It's going to be you, not the Earth.
Right. Well, and another wonderful story that I have to tell about you is you were probably the first light worker that I ever saw, that I ever had anybody work on me. And that was really, I was so brand new to the whole thing. I was learning what I could do, sort of. And you all of a sudden, we discover a spot in my body where you're like, hey, this is an issue maybe you have. And you started making a tone, and I felt that area of my body start to like wiggle. And I was like, what the heck is going on? How is this even possible? So it's pretty cool that you're here now to demonstrate this for others. So I'm very excited about what you're going to be doing for everyone. And so that transitions us very well into our next question, which is, what are you going to be talking about and what are you going to be doing?
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'd really like to share with people is some of the information that's been streaming in through my guides over the last several months, because it's so relevant to what's happening. And I think your topic, of course, is relevant at any time, but I think now more than ever, it's actually possible to live in a more 5-dimensional frequency, which I would actually, expand out to really multidimensional frequency. So what I'm really going to be talking about is how you can actually experience a multidimensional focus, because this is a lot of what the Arcturians and the Mantis have been talking to me lately about. Literally, the texture of the energy on the planet right now allows us to experience multidimensional spaces and have a focus in these other dimensional spaces simultaneously, so that we don't have to feel like when I meditate, I can connect to my guides, or when I meditate, I can experience bliss. They're talking about changing our external sensing environment, which the Chinese would call the Wei Qi, right? The Arcturians worked with this a lot. The way you're interacting with your environment, the way you're enmeshed in your space around you, has everything to do with how defended your energy field is, how capable it is of really feeling itself in the environment that it's in, how it's not taking it personally, how it's able to feel neutral, I think, is the main thing. So we want to come from a place of neutrality so that everything we can experience can be experienced in its truth. So I just taught a course called Embodiment. I'm going to pull some sections out of that, because that course was really powerful, because it helped people reintegrate aspects of their current timeline existence here on the planet, connect with Earth, connect with their body, because we came to be physical beings. And so that DNA does serve as a portal for us to really experience that multidimensional reality here in the now. And then to start clearing some of the ancestral Akashic energy, the density that's there. And before, when I used to do my healings, I would clear 1 or 2 in a session, say. Now I'm clearing like 35. They all come in at once. The portals of the earth have been opened. And this allows for our soul energy to just pile on. And because I've had clients who I've done so many clearings for, and they keep saying, how many more could there be? And then we did a clearing where it was like, we actually cleared about 150 trauma incidents. And then they group together, they get into groups, they show me, they get into groups, and those groups all have a particular theme. And those themes all relate to a big picture, like a one big theme, but they relate in a way that they each have a facet of that diamond that is particular to that group. And it always relates to the person that we're working with in that lifetime, somewhere along their timeline. So it kind of all wraps together. And so that kind of clearing is possible now on our planet. And that's really exciting, super exciting. And that allows us to then really embody the truth of our being, which is as this expression of source, and then to live from that place, and then take ownership over that, and decide, how do I want to show up every day, knowing myself as this embodiment, and what does that mean? And how do I go about all my relationships and everything else?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're going to also be doing an activation as well, right?
Yes, I'm going to take everybody through, I'm going to feel into the group in that moment, but most likely what they're telling me is that it's going to be a group to work with our body's energetic fields, to bring everybody into that space of neutrality, work with your crystalline structure that you're emitting, to really help you feel into your environment and feel that sense of peace. I think the lack of feeling peace comes when we're at opposition to our environment in some way, to the energetic environment. Because we are electromagnetic sensing organisms. This is how we're wired. We came to be these physical feeling beings, and our emotions are how we vibrate, right? And feel those vibrations of what's happening around us. So if we get comfortable with allowing those things to happen without having to respond or hold ourselves in some resistance to them, it can eliminate a lot of fatigue and a lot of upset and a lot of emotional trauma that's happening in our day-to-day life. And of course, we don't have any emotional trauma this year, do we?
No, it's been perfect. It's been
Been
beautiful.
swimming.
I love it exactly as it is.
Yeah, exactly. And Zane, as I shared with you, I just got back to my house after being evacuated for a number of days because of out of control wildland fires that have been around Santa Cruz area.
Mhm.
So yeah, the hits just keep on coming.
Right, right. Okay, so my last question for you is, if someone goes to that website that you have underneath your name there, vibrationalgenetics.com, the M is cut off with an ellipses, which makes no sense. But anyway, what will they see when they go there? What will they find out?
Oh, great. So on the website, there is lots of meditations and tones that I have posted there. There's also a portal into my Light Vibes learning community, which is a membership community I have that's really um, reasonably priced. That is every month I put new information and a new healing up, and there's a new topic every month. And so working with the guides that I work with, we put in a new topic and have a live webcast. And so that's the portal to enter into that space as well.
Mhm.
As well as just find out more about what I'm up to, what's going on. I have lots of events that are happening, and there's things that I use with clients that I recommend. That's also there. So it's a good place to go for reference and articles and information from a blog and things that I'm downloading in the moment.
Nice. So lots of
Yeah,
stuff.
lots
So
of-
they should go.
yeah, they should go.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Well, Jeilene, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing yourself and sharing what you're going to be sharing at the expo. And we're so excited to have you.
Thanks, Zane. I'm super excited to do this again. And I'm super excited to see you again, too. It's been too long. So this is fun. I'm really, really happy to be part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in less than a month.
You too. Sounds good. Bye, everybody.
Bye.